welcome back to another episode of this Porsche 996 Hartech engined series, and this one is about kind of fixing all of the problems cosmetically that occurred from our little unplanned off-road excursion that we had, and also fixing some of the pre-existing issues that were already there. When I got the car, and some things that I've noticed as time has gone on since when I bought this car back in 2022, which is about 3 years ago. One of the things that really impressed me about this car was the fact that it was a two-owner car, and you could tell, you know, the way it looked, the way it drove, was really good. And obviously it's been my job to, or my goal, to maintain that as best as I possibly can. But there's no getting away from it. These cars are 25 or so years old. They're not invincible. I know that, yeah, the bodies are galvanized, and they are generally quite resistant to rust. But, you know, unless somebody has, you know, cleaned out the arches every time they've washed the car from new, you're always going to get a little bit of rust start to creep in front and rear arches, sill areas, stuff like that. And that's kind of what was happening to this. In that, you know, it scrubbed up really well, don't get me wrong. It always looked really good on film. Even beyond that, it looked really good in person as well. But if you looked really closely at the rear arches, at the front arches, the sills, you would see that a little bit of rust had started. It was nothing major, but it was everywhere basically. It had become a little bit crusty around the edges. But as I say, unless you really put this car under the microscope, you wouldn't have noticed. Even very recently, it scrubbed up really nicely for a photo shoot for Jaguar World. Where it was featured in a twin test with a Jag XK8, and it looked fantastic. It really did. It looked absolutely fantastic. However, because I'd had that little off-road excursion, and because that had left, you know, there were some marks on the front bumper, I'd damaged one of my wheels. It sort of kick-started the need to get this car in with a decent bodywork and just fix all of the little problems it had. Now, unfortunately for me, I can be a bit of a perfectionist when it comes to this stuff, so that did snowball quite a lot, if I'm honest. And you go back to the very first video I ever did on this car, which is just a walk around of the car basically, and I said, you know, what the two things I'd want to do with this car is a 3.7 engine, which I've now got, and I also said I want to do a proper rear wiper delete, because I think the rear wiper it clutters. If you've got a standard car like this with no aero kit or anything like that, having a rear wiper, it just clutters up the rear end. Again, it's all subjective, it's personal, but that's what I felt, and I thought, well, I'd want to just plate that over and just have that done properly. So I threw that into the mix as well. So yeah, I wanted that, and the front arches, rear arches, the sill areas. You know, it quickly snowballed into essentially, the front bumper needed a respray as well, obviously, because of the incident. So it quickly became almost like a full rust removal treatment and almost full respray apart from the roof. And in actual fact, when the guys started work on the car, you know, they said, well, you better come down and have a look at this, and they sort of invited me in to have a look at the front wings, because they said, you know, we can treat these front wings, but, you know, they are, again, they weren't terrible, but there was rust essentially everywhere, and, you know, once it started, there's nothing you can do. So I've actually had now both front wings brand new now. I've had the front bumper resprayed, I've had the centre section of the bumper replaced as well, behind the black section, the bit that blanks off the third radiator spot. I've had the wheel that was scuffed refurbished. I've had the doors were removed, taken back to bare metal and redone. The rear arches, same thing, stripped back, bits of rust cut out, new bits welded in, flattened back, all the dents removed. What else? Oh, all the stone chipping's been redone as well, so on the bottom edge, all of that stone guard was taken off and redone from scratch. It's got new stone chip around the edge of the arches. They've protected the inside of the arches as well. I mean, it really was pretty comprehensive. Well, it was comprehensive to the point where, because they removed the doors and they stripped out all the glass, they stripped out the 3/4 windows as well. So the rear windows were removed, so they could all paint all behind them as well. I've got new window seals. They did the door shuts as well, and they put in all of the kind of factory PPF as well. There's quite a lot. I didn't realise this, but there's quite a lot of kind of factory PPF on this car. You know, and that's, to be honest, it's the main reason why it's been gone for so long. Partly because that process takes a very long time, but also because, you know, parts supply just isn't that good for some reason at the moment. So when I needed two new front wings, I was told there was 2 left in the country, one each side. So they were ordered and received, but they were apparently like the wrong shape on one side, and it just wouldn't have looked right, so they were sent back, they were rejected. New ones ordered from Germany, there was loads of shipping delays and stuff like that, so I think the bodywork bit, the car went in early to mid-May, and I got the car back end of August. So that's how long it took from start to finish. But to be honest with you, I mean, it's quite reassuring when a car goes in for bodywork and it takes that long. If you put your car in for that much work and it comes back 3 days later, you know they haven't done a proper job. So it's quite reassuring. They were sending me pictures throughout as well, so I could see exactly what stage the car was at. So now I think, having been messed around by body shops for 20 odd years and not being able to find a decent one, I've now finally found a decent one, and I'm so happy about that, because now it just opens up the way for maybe getting the Jag resprayed. I need to save up the pennies for that. That's going to be quite a big job, but yeah, if anyone needs anything in the Stevenage area, I can thoroughly recommend Daytona Coachworx, where the work was done. They're absolutely amazing, those guys. And apart from that, you know, there's other little bits that I've done as well. So one thing I've always sort of struggled with is the centre caps for the wheels. Because I had some genuine ones for this. I bought some genuine ones because I thought they'd last for ages, and they just didn't. They lasted about 18 months. And I'm not being funny, they cost 200 quid. I'm not doing that again. So what I do now is I buy the kind of 15, 20 quid Etsy ones and just replace them every year. But I thought, well, I want to try and increase the lifespan of those a little bit. So I've been experimenting with using resin to kind of cast the crests in properly, because I've found that heat kind of distorts the crests and they can sort of start to come away from the rest of the wheel cap. They fade quite a lot as well, so the colours, they only really last about a year. They just fade so quickly. So I thought if I cast the shields in resin and then PPF over the top of the whole thing, it might just help the cheap center caps be a little bit more robust, and they might last a bit longer. We'll see. I mean, I've got a set on now. They've been on for a while, but like I said, the car's been tucked away all year, been in different garages and stuff, having work done, so you know, I won't know yet, but I will keep you updated on that, I guess. The other thing I did is there's little bits that let this car down eventually, like, and this happens to all cars this age, you know, the scuttle panel is black plastic and it fades and it goes this horrible shade of light grey. So I've taken that off and resprayed that, and at the same time the wiper arms as well. The wiper arms were quite badly stone chipped up and stuff like that, so I've sanded those back and painted those satin black while I was at it. And the overall result is just amazing. It really is. I mean, I can't tell. I mean, this car had a lot of like door dings down the side. It didn't have a lot of scratches or anything like that, like I say, but it did have a lot of door dings. It's just so amazing now to have a car this old, and you know, it's just ticked over 99,000 miles now, so it's not a low mileage example. And it's a little bit, if I'm honest, it's a little bit distracting because I keep looking in my wing mirror here and I can see down the haunches of the car, and not only can you observe the kind of the beautiful lines this car has and the, you know, the wide arches at the rear, it's now just perfectly glass smooth all the way down the side. It's absolutely beautiful. I mean, it honestly looks like, I mean, this must be what it kind of felt like to pick up one of these cars in 1999 and, you know, drive it out of the showroom. It's showroom fresh. It is something else. So now it's like, now I think the looks of the car and, you know, the bodywork and the overall condition of it cosmetically like matches that, you know, that newish 3.7 Hartech engine in the back, and everything else in here feels tight, you know, because all the work we've done with the interior, suspension work, the handling. It's just about slowly bringing like every aspect of this car up to a level. That's what it's about. Like I say, Daytona have done such an amazing job. I'm eternally grateful to them. Yeah, but there you go, really. I mean, yeah, like I say, I'll leave you with some photos and some footage of this thing. Thanks again for watching. Don't forget to deploy the like button. That lets me know that you're interested. So as long as people are interested, I'll keep you know, doing stuff to this car and posting it online for people to look at and enjoy. But yeah, that's it for this one. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you again for the next one.